taking over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. All right, we're back at Radio Row in Nolens here, and look who it is, my buddy JJ, John Jastremski from The Ringer in New York, the best podcast in the country, very popular. Let's start with those kicks.
Thank
I
you,
like
bro.
those. I don't think you could do a high. I think you could actually show them. Lift your leg up.
Oh, am I going to?
Straight at
Is this
me.
going to be like a wardrobe malfunction?
Those are fantastic.
Oh, look at that.
I
The
think those
Adidas,
are
baby.
fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I like yours.
All right, those are my KDs.
I'll be honest, Scotty. Normally, I'm rocking the Jordans.
And they're both different. You notice they're both different
I
shoes?
like that.
One's like lavender, and one is purple.
I think I like those more, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So I have the New Balances.
Yeah.
And they're really fresh. I got them for Christmas.
Nice.
And I wore them a couple times here, but they're really badass. I wore the Kawhi's, his basketball shoes, because I thought to myself, like, I collect basketball shoes, so
Yeah.
I wear a lot of basketball.
How many you have?
I like 250.
Holy
and so
smokes,
I
dude.
actually never believed in New Balance as a basketball shoe.
Yeah, I was never a New Balance
did it.
guy either, no.
So they never did it. They're like running shoes,
Yeah.
right? So I don't run. So I don't wear New Balance. So I got the Kawhi's because I saw them and I went, wow, let me check these out, these Kawhi's. So I got them and I loved them. I played in them for 8 months. And then I wore them out.
Okay.
Once I wear them out, they're done. Then they become street shoes.
Well, that's what happens with the running shoes,
Right.
too. It's the same deal. You'll wear them out on the court. I'll wear them out when I'm running.
Right.
You know when it's time.
But then when they're shot, you still wear them to the store,
Walking back
to
and
the
forth.
gas station, when you're running
a show,
errands.
whatever.
Right,
Yeah.
do the show.
Yeah.
Wear them around. You got to go to the mailbox. That's when I wear them. And then I keep a lot of my old ones in the trunk of my car, just in case. You never know. Because, I'll wear flip-flops in the snow. And if anything were to happen, flat tire, or I get...
You're good.
Then I can go to the trunk, and I got basketball shoes I can put on in reserve.
Nice.
Now, when people come to see me and do the show, it's either their kicks or their clothes or their humor. Like I had Jeff Ross, the great roaster comedian.
He didn't have great shoes on?
Well,
But he's a funny guy.
He did have great shoes on. He had some Jordans on. But the thing is, when you're dealing with him, is when a guy's as funny as he is... He clearly doesn't like people trying to be funny with him. Like I was funny.
He's got to be the funny guy.
Yeah, he's got to be the funny guy. But I was funny with him, but he didn't know what to think of me. He was like, "You sound like Robert Kennedy." I said, "More people say Wolfman Jack," and then he was like,
Robert Kennedy Jr.
So I was giving him the business. Like I said, I didn't care about these teams because I don't. I hate them both. I'm from Pittsburgh. Why would I like the Eagles?
Listen,
I hate them. Why would I like the Chiefs? They've been on top for so long. They're like the Patriots. I hate them. I don't want to watch the game. I don't even want to talk about it.
That said, though, it will end up being a good game.
Of course, it'll be a good game.
It will be a good game.
The last
2 years ago was
the
amazing.
last one was a good game. So let me ask you this question: You were at the Acme Oyster Bar the other night.
Yes, it was.
When I walked in, and you were having a big party there. Big celebrity type party. There was a lot of celebrities there. You and Cousin Sal at a table full of celebrities, and I ate 500 grilled oysters that night.
Dude.
At least. And I had 15 double rums.
I had never had the char-grilled oysters before.
How great were those?
Insane. So our boy Carver High was there.
Right.
He saw you were there.
He's the one that told me to go there.
And he goes, you went? He goes, you picked an unbelievable spot. Sal and House did some sort of eating competition upstairs.
Yeah.
A little disturbing. I mean, they were
Really?
throwing them down like no tomorrow. Oh, it got
Really?
nasty up there.
So wait a minute. There's an upstairs in that place?
They had like a little private room or whatever.
So, and who did he have the eating contest with?
With your house, one of the guys that do the pop.
Oh. So who won?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have to find out.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody won, to be honest.
So I'm gonna talk
Looked like
to
a
him.
whole lot of losing.
I'm gonna talk to him about it. I have never eaten so many oysters in my life. I also ate 2 full plates of Bang Bang shrimp, and I was wrapping them
See, I
in the
didn't
bread.
get those, man. I dropped the ball. I should have got
Strong.
those.
I mean, strong, real spicy and really
Yeah.
delicious. Oh my God! And then we got so drunk we had to go on a 2-mile walk. So we walked down to the blacksmith. You know what that place is?
No, I don't.
It's the oldest bar in America.
So I should check that out before I leave.
It's like 1793.
Nice.
And when you go in there, all the famous people, Muhammad Ali, Gandolfini, James Caan, every actor in the world has been in there. It's real creepy. It's like haunted.
Haunted? I think my hotel, for what it's worth, is haunted.
You think your hotel's haunted?
There's no doubt. It's got that vibe in the elevator and the rooms.
Did you have any run-ins with a spirit or anything?
Not yet, but I'm here for a couple more days.
There's potential.
There's definitely potential.
So, what did you think of Alonso finally doing the deal with the Mets?
About damn time, right? About damn time. I mean, it made too much sense for both parties, right? Like, was Pete going to go play with the Reds? Was he going to go play with the Angels?
The Jays?
Come on, man. And then you throw in the fact that, hey, the Mets need a bat behind Soto. You spent $800 million on Soto. You might as well keep a guy that you know is a proven commodity. But you know this, Scotty. It's going to be weird when he comes back because I think it's pretty obvious Pete didn't get the love that he deserved. And the Mets basically told him, yeah, you should be renting. Don't be buying.
Well, what about, the fact that he still, despite knowing that they were giving him kind of the salmon hand, the cold fish, like they didn't want him, he still did a deal with him. Like, I would have been like, if you don't want me, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Why do you do that? But I'll never forget that home run he hit in Milwaukee. Like, that was the greatest hit of his career.
Crazy. And
how do you get rid of a guy that does something like that?
Well, and I think that played into it. The price coming down played into it. Yeah, if I were Alonso, to put myself in his shoes like you just did, I wouldn't go back there.
Right.
No way, because I'd say, where's the love? Where's the appreciation?
So it was like when you left the fan, the ringer came along with all this money, and then you couldn't stay at the fan. You went for the money. I would have gone for the money. I would have taken the ringer job too. You were famous at the fan. You were huge at the fan. Had a great show at the fan. But you always got to take the bag.
Well,
remember,
listen, it was
Ferrall advice: always take the bag.
Listen, the bag.
Always go to the best restaurant.
My boss is a badass too. Don't forget about that. That helps.
Well,
that helps.
Your boss is your new boss is a badass.
Simmons,
yeah. So, but your old bosses were kind of curmudgeons. Kind of. I mean, they're kind of nerdy curmudgeons. But I'm friends with all of them. I've known them longer than you've been alive. I was friends with them when you were in your mother's womb.
That's true.
So when I started at WFAN in the 90s, and I was syndicated on Westwood One and Infinity out of L.A. from Mel Carmison, right? He's the one that made Howard, Imus, Ferrall, Opie, and Anthony. He made all of us. He created all of our careers and made us huge. When I first worked for the fan, I drove Chernoff nuts.
I can only imagine.
Like, drove him nuts. He would call me.
Now, were you doing the shows in New York or in L.A.?
I was in L.A.
Oh, so you out of sight, out of mind.
Out of sight, out of mind. So what would happen is he would call me, and I would be on my raft in my pool, smoking a bone, drinking a beer, and laying in the sun in Southern California. I lived on the beach. And he would call, and I would put the phone on the side of the pool and the speaker on, and he would yell and scream and swear at me for like 20 minutes every day. And I would sit there and go, I got you, Mark, no problem. So after about 6 years of it, he said one day to me, you either move to New York in the next 7 days or you're fired. We're done with you not listening. Because I never listened. I never did what they said. He'd say, no more hockey talk. I'd do an entire show on hockey. Whenever he'd say no hockey, I'd do 3 hours of hockey.
You do more of it.
So I drove him nuts. Then he made me move to New York, and then I worked for him. Then I left, and he said I screwed him because I went to ESPN. Then I ended up on CBS again.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
want me to solve all this tush-push and fourth down malarkey that goes on with the officials? Here's a crazy idea. Get rid of the worst rule in the NFL, and that is forward progress. How about this? Where I knock your ass on the ground is where the ball goes, period. Let's end this whole conversation. Like, if I drop you back 4 yards, then you lost 4 yards. If we get rid of forward progress, this tush-push and everything else is taken care of. Where I put your tail on the ground is where the ball goes, end of conversation. It's the dumbest rule and the most arbitrary rule. The only thing that is a worse call in the NFL than forward progress is the punt that goes out of bounds when you watch the official walk down the sideline having absolutely no clue where that ball crossed over. All I can think of is that Price is Right game go do-de-do-de-do, do-de-do-de-do, as he's walking down the sideline, arbitrarily trying to figure out where the ball crossed over because he's got no clue.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Is it just a matter of his contract, his age? I mean, usually things like this get fixed pretty quickly, but this one is not fixed, and now it's just super uncomfortable.
The opportunity or the idea of getting another team involved adds more complication to the situation, and it doesn't seem like a resolution is anywhere in sight, but the more suspensions come in, the more it's clear that the saga is over, or his time there is over.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're talking to JJ from the Ringer, New York, New York. So I eventually won them all over. Now I'm so when I was on the fan in the 90s, they hated me because they said I was awful. I was heinous. I was horrible. I was pouring beers and I was talking about hookers and gambling and drugs and I was playing heavy metal music and they hated me. So what I did was I started making fun of them because it was too easy. One of them was a fat slob and the other one's a skinny twig that hangs out at a tennis club with his wife. Like it was the easiest prey. It was fresh meat. So I would do them every day and I was so much better at being mean than them. It wasn't even funny. Like I was like, who do these two think they are? Like they're the greatest show in the history of the world. I get it, but you're dancing with the devil. You want to think you can like hurt my feelings? See, I'm the devil. I went after him.
You did.
30 years later, I'm working at Howard Stern. Russo takes me out to lunch, and he says to me, he literally, and he's standing in there right now. I'll make him say it to you. He goes, "I'm sorry for the way we treated you." And I went, I almost fell over, and I went,
"Wow,
thank you," because he goes, "Now I never realized that you were legit."
Yeah.
And that, you're a dad, a husband, you've been married, you don't drink, you don't do drugs, I've been accused of everything. I'm a rapist, a murderer, a junkie, I sell, drugs to kids, I'm a pedophile, I've been accused of everything. So most of it's an act. So he was buying into that act that I was this horrible person and heavy metal and I was sleeping with 100 women, which I was. But he eventually saw me working for Howard, and when you're working for Howard Stern, you're legit.
It gives you legitimacy.
So, and then he was, he started sucking up to him too. He's been there ever since. Now he's friends with him. So he was never friends with me at the fan. He's friends with me at Sirius.
Well, you know what I always appreciate about you? When you were at CBS, you used to make damn sure I was filling in for your show.
Listen, you were
now. Remember,
great.
I was not working full time at that point. I was doing part time
but you were
and I was
great
doing
talent.
part time network. So work with the guys, the beer flowing.
Right.
I like doing the show.
I thought you were an amazing young talent, and I had a spot in my heart for you. I thought you were fantastic. I knew you were going to make it big. I knew you were going to be a star. I knew, honestly, you can, whether you like it or not, I knew I could turn Carver High into a star. I knew I could turn Rasan into a star. All of my producers, Mafia, everybody became huge in the business. I like doing that with people. I'm not trying to. I just like doing that with people. And you know who used to do my show when I was in L.A. and I thought the world of? Bob with shoes on.
Did he
I called
really?
him Bob with shoes on. Bob with shoes on.
He's unbelievable with the play-by-play. Does all the hockey now.
He's a huge
College
star.
football.
He's a huge play-by-play star.
Jets,
NHL. I think he's fabulous. So I like being around winners and people with talent. And you were one of them. So I always thought the perfect guy to do my show would be JJ.
It was fun, man. We rock and roll, man.
And then, so like when you went to the Ringer, I was really happy for you and proud of you. And every time I see you, I think the world of you. You know that's legit. And I'm just thrilled for you that you've exploded and gotten bigger and bigger. And I think it's just the beginning for you. You're a young guy. You're about to have a kid.
Isn't that crazy?
So what's the deal? Do you know if it's a boy or a girl?
We're going surprise.
Oh, God, one of those. Huh?
Come on, man. You seem like a surprise kind of guy.
Listen, I like surprises, but not when it comes to, like, this kid's going to cost you probably $750,000 over the next
Every
18
bit of it,
years.
if not more.
I mean, at college, you're looking at $500,000.
Don't want to think about it.
So just start saving.
Start now.
And then let me tell you something. Just from the beginning, the diapers and the formula and the everything that goes with a baby, ask Mafia, it's at least 50 large a year.
Nice.
Just for the baby. Secondly, every single moment of your life, you will be consumed by it, even when you're doing your show. Because when you're doing your show and you're taping and doing it, your wife's going to be a pain in your ass, texting you that every little problem. If the kid blinks, you're going to think he needs to go to the hospital. If the kid falls down, you're going to think he's going to be a paraplegic. Then when you have your second kid, you literally dribble them down the hallway. If they fall down the stairs, get up on your own. Have you ever seen a commercial? Mom, I cut myself. There's Band-Aids in the cabinet. I'm bleeding. Get two. You don't care about the second one. The second and third ones are easy. They're like basketballs. So how fantastic was it doing an interview where we didn't talk about the game?
Hey, listen, sounds like my week. Sounds like my week. But you got to spice it up. I'm coming on with you. I got to give you some
You've been eating and drinking all week, living large, staying with ghosts.
Too much for my liking, to be honest with you.
I probably gained 10 pounds.
That's why I went for a run yesterday.
I ate at Red Fish Grill right around the corner from the Acme. Mavi and I turned in about a 400.
Dude, the next time you
bill
go,
last night.
GW Fins.
Oh, I know, but we couldn't get a table.
I sat at the bar.
Well, that's what I wanted to do, and I said, Mavi, let's just go sit at the bar like we did at Acme. And instead, he got a reservation at Redfish.
Hey,
we heard about that.
Still.
It was really good. It was pretty good.
Nice.
Some chick tried to sleep with me.
What else is new?
You know what I mean? I sat down. Next thing I know, I asked Mommy. Some chick tried to hit on me.
Wow, you still got it, bro.
She wanted to get involved.
Still got it.
I didn't do it though. I bought her a drink. That was it.
That was nice. Yeah.
She was from Atlanta, and I told her how much I hate it.
Wow. Yeah.
I lived there 3 times. That's where I did play-by-play for the Thrashers. I worked for Ted Turner. I worked for CNN. Did play-by-play. And I even worked there at Clear Channel. So I lived there 3 different times.
So you out in Atlanta.
I knocked my wife up at Talladega spring race in a Ford Expedition. They can tell you the day that you got your wife pregnant, the day she conceived. The day I conceived was at Dega.
Wow.
And I don't even like NASCAR and rednecks.
Well, there you go.
But I did it. I knocked her up at a Talladega NASCAR race.
It was Talladega night?
Because I lived in Atlanta, so I went over there for a party in the infield. It was pretty cool, like a 20-kegger. The infields at the Indy 500 and NASCAR races are notorious.
So I went to Indy, not to the 500. I was there for Nick Pacers.
Right.
Played at the golf course right next to the 500.
Right. It's great.
Unbelievable.
It's great.
Dude. Awesome course.
I've been to that race 13 times. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool race.
It was a nice little city.
It's a fun
I'm there for 2
event.
days, though. I had enough. Out of there.
Indy.
Yes.
That's why they have the combine there. It's 10 minutes from the airport. You land, you go in, there's all the hotels.
Get St. Elmo's, sign up.
In and out.
Bingo.
And you're good. JJ, it's good to see you, brother. Congrats
Donnie,
on everything.
love you, bro.
I always love having you on Coast to Coast.
Always.
Enjoy the game. Enjoy. When is she due?
Early May.
Whoa.
Better get my sleep in now, bro.
You got it, because you'll get no sleep.
Well,
no more sleep. It is going to consume everything you do. Everything you do will be about that kid. Literally everything you do. I used to put it in the crib, and I'd watch TV, and it would wail and scream and cry, and I'd just leave it sitting there. I didn't know what to do. I sucked at it, I got to tell you, but in the end, they always grow up.
It turned out okay.
And they end up all right.
It turned out all right.
I think it's great that you're doing it. Good luck.
Thanks, bro.
Don't tell her you want a boy. Just...
My mom, she was a professional ballet dancer. My aunt played professional tennis. My dad played football at Pitt when they won a national championship. My sister ran track at Stanford. So it's just kind of in my blood to love all sports. And so I've always obviously loved golf, but it's been nice to kind of branch out a little bit more and get into different sports and different topics and not just always do golf.
Only on SportsGrid.
St. John's is primed to make a run. They're fabulous defensively. And I've told people on this network time and time again, when Kadari Richmond plays, he's a difference maker. They're right now the favorites to win the Big East regular season title. By the way, I told everyone that was going to happen. -170. And I told everyone that was going to happen.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
Let's talk about Philly and Kansas City. They're here again 2 out of the last 3 years. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
I'm a big Andy Reid fan, and it's hard to go against what he's been able to accomplish. Okay. That being said, there's a lot of storylines in this game. You know, you look at Saquon and what he's been able to do this year.
Crazy.
It's wild. But if he's able to do what he's done throughout the playoffs, they'll be hard to beat.
Only on SportsGrid.
I'm talking to Donnie Rightside Seymour, and he's a star on SportsGrid, and he's been interviewing famous people all week. He's got on his Air Jordan's got a nice watch, but I really have started to not like you when I found out you were an Eagles fan. Like, it really, as a Pittsburgh kid and a Steeler fan, why would I ever like this? Is going to be difficult moving forward, our relationship, because I'm a big fan of your work. I chose you. I said, I want to talk to Donnie. And then you told me you're an Eagles fan, and now you're like, my best friend's an Eagles fan?
Yeah.
I hate him, too. I hate you now, too.
It doesn't have to be like that because, you know, we have a kinship together. I'm a Miami Hurricanes fan as well.
Oh, man, my boy, no wonder I like you. I love you. It's all about the Canes, baby.
Now, granted, Miami's down a little bit now, but growing up.
Down a little. How many ball games have they lost now? 12 in a row?
They might as well not show up.
When they lost 22-0 to Louisiana Tech, I wanted to kill myself. That was the most embarrassing thing ever.
Like Miami was going to like the Micron PC balls. Like, what are we doing here at this point? Yeah.
Do you remember? I have a plaque behind me on the set.
Yeah,
it had the 5 national championships.
Yeah.
I changed the set. I can't look at it anymore because they're so embarrassing.
Yeah.
Because when they were what? They were what, like 10-0?
Yeah.
And then I knew they were losing to Cuse.
Yeah.
It really bothered me. Who were some of the other famous people you talked to? You talked to McNabb. I'm friends with McNabb.
Yeah.
I hate him, too.
Yeah.
Who else did you talk to?
McNabb, Westbrook, and again, some other You know who was really interesting this weekend? We had Warren Sapp, which was phenomenal.
He's great. He's funny.
Really, really fun guy. But also, Bernie Kosar was interesting.
I wanted to talk to him.
Yeah.
You stole him from me.
He was a
Thanks.
very good interview all the way through.
And he's a Cane.
Like, going back, like, how do you come from Ohio down to Miami and Howard Schnellenberger? Like, I love that whole stuff there. How did you get to Cleveland? I kept telling him, like, as a kid growing up, I loved watching, and I know you hated Cleveland.
He was great, though.
Municipal Stadium, Monday Night Football,
great
Browns
dump
uniforms. I loved him.
Great dump.
Yeah.
It was a great dump. Who else did you talk to this week?
Who else was rolling through with us here? Had a couple of Randy Grimes from the.
I talked to him with his sober house or whatever it is. He's saving players' lives.
Exactly. Had MVS, Marvez Valdez.
Oh, Scantling. I did see that.
A lot of fun. And by the way,
6'4", never would have.
Yeah.
Knew he was tall. 6'4", towered over.
I'm 6'4", 240.
Like slim, ready.
I was 230 when I got here. I'm 240 now, easily.
Aren't you supposed to go backwards?
They may make me buy 2 seats on the United flight tonight because I'm so fat from being here eating.
First class seats for you tonight?
Well, I'm thinking just I've gained tons of weight. I'm just covered in booze sweats.
Yeah.
Like I'm drank so much booze, I'm sweating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who else? Anybody else? I saw famous people like actors and stuff were on the set.
The guy, Greg got him.
Levine?
Yes, the guy from Pitch Perfect and all
Yeah.
that. Funny guy, too. Doing circle water. By the way, you ever circle water before? You ever tasted it?
No.
Not bad. Not bad.
What is it?
It's a bottle of water, but it has the filter in it that you drink, and it flavors it for you.
Is that right? Oh, is that right?
He loves it. You'd love it.
I need that, considering how...
Electrolytes?
yeah.
Come on, right in you, Scott.
I drink Coke Zero.
Yeah.
With no sugar. It makes me feel better about like not losing my teeth.
Yeah.
I don't you know what I mean?
Have a couple
At my age, you know what I mean? Like I could if I drink regular Coke, I always felt in my brain that I was rotting my teeth because there's so much sugar like in a Coke can.
Yeah.
So no Coke. I had to get used to it. Like I was never a fan of Diet Coke. I thought it was for girls.
Yeah.
You know, like my sister drank Tab. Do you remember Tab?
Absolutely remember Tab.
She was obsessed. She was addicted to Tab. And I was like
RC Cola back in the day.
Yeah, I was never a fan, but I remember all that stuff.
What did you have in Pittsburgh? Anything different than us?
Iron City I grew up on and breast milk. Yeah, I just had
together.
I drank beer when I was a newborn baby. All the kids in Pittsburgh, children, are drinking Icy Light now to save save calories.
Yeah.
No, I use lorazepam to sleep. After I had the heart surgery, they gave me a lifetime supply of sleeping pills. Take one of those, I'm done in 30.
By the way, with the heart, we still getting up and down the court?
I still play 6 days a week, and so I have to go to bed at like 8:30. So I get up at 5 in the morning. So I usually take a sleeping pill to sleep because I would sleep, go to bed at midnight, 1 in the morning.
Sure.
So I go to bed early, get up at 5 a.m. I play at 6. Yeah,
There you go.
It took me a year to get back on the court, but it's the best thing ever. Basketball is my favorite thing in life.
Yeah.
I love playing basketball. That's all I do.
Yeah.
I don't do anything else.
By the way, Eagles win? Kansas City wins?
Well, I hope your team wins for you and my buddy, so I don't have to listen to him cry anymore, and I don't have to listen to you.
Yeah.
I know how badly you want it. When your team's in it, it's the greatest thing ever, and when you lose, it sucks.
And then you got to talk about it in this business.
I think losing sucks. I lost 10 championships in basketball. I've won 12. I only remember the 10 I lost.
Indiana guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wish they'd hire Mick Cronin, but
your coach.
I'm hearing that they're going to go after this May guy who just went to Michigan.
That's true.
They should have done it last year.
Yep.
Donnie, you're awesome. I think your show's awesome. I think your show with Ben is awesome. By the way, I went to Indiana. He went to Syracuse. He's no longer allowed to say Big Ten, Ben. When you go to Syracuse, you're not in the Big Ten.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Tell him that we're going to cut that off. He's just a good-looking fellow that talks sports with you.
My mom, she was a professional ballet dancer. My aunt played professional tennis. My dad played football at Pitt when they won a national championship. My sister ran track at Stanford. So it's just kind of in my blood to love all sports. And so I've always obviously loved golf, but it's been nice to kind of branch out a little bit more and get into different sports and different topics and not just always do golf.
Only on SportsGrid.
St. John's is primed to make a run. They're fabulous defensively. And I've told people on this network time and time again, when Kadari Richmond plays, he's a difference maker. They're right now the favorites to win the Big East regular season title. By the way, I told everyone that was going to happen. Minus 170. And I told everyone that was going to happen.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
Let's talk about Philly and Kansas City. They're here again 2 of the last 3 years. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
I'm a big Andy Reid fan, and it's hard to go against what he's been able to accomplish. That being said, there's a lot of storylines in this game. You know, you look at Saquon and what he's been able to do this year.
Crazy.
It's wild. But if he's able to do what he's done throughout the playoffs, they'll be hard to beat.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, Ferrall back at Radio Row in Nolens. And the Super Bowl Sunday, right? Everybody's stoked. You got Eagles, Chiefs. I can't wait to miss the game. Jeff Ross and Jeff Beecher are here from, how about this? Beecher's Madhouse, the return, the takeover, the legendary spectacle that ruled Vegas and Hollywood. And it's going to be in New Orleans, one night only, and everyone's going to be naked at the event.
I will be.
You know, it's good to see you guys. Thanks for coming on.
So happy to be here.
Honestly, so the day of the Steeler-Raven game, believe it or not, so I hadn't had time to watch, what was it, your Brady roast, was that it? Or what was the big roast that was on Netflix?
Greatest roast of all time for Tom Brady. You didn't watch it?
Well, no, so like I didn't
He only had a couple 100 million hours of views.
I understand that.
Yeah.
So I never had time to see it.
Yeah.
So the day of the game, when the Steelers were taking it in the keister from the Ravens, I couldn't bear to watch it as a Steeler fan.
Yeah.
I have season tickets, the whole deal. I fly to games. I'm obsessed. I went to all 8 of their Super Bowls. So when they're losing, I either go out in Manhattan and kill someone, or I watched your roast. So I turned the channel, turned that on. I got to tell you, dude.
Yeah.
That was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. You're evil and unholy. And you're just...
What an intro.
You are fantastic at hurting people's feelings
That's the idea.
and being funny doing it. It's just absolutely terrific. I sat there and lost my shack. I was like, I laughed so hard that I may have had a trickle or two down my leg.
I love
it. You know, because I'm old, and I just said, it may have been the first potential diaper-wearing situation for me for the future.
Laughter's the best medicine.
I mean, you have it all going, brother.
Love it.
I mean, honestly, you're sick in the head. How many the abuse that you give people is just so wonderful. How many people want you dead, or do they all find it funny and let you do it?
No, I only roast the ones I love. They all volunteer.
They volunteer to be abused.
Yeah.
What a life.
Thank you.
What a job.
Thank you.
I mean, you have it mastered.
Thank you.
So the double Jeff. So Jeff Beecher, explain to me what you're doing. You
didn't even introduce me.
I introduced both of you.
Did?
The greatest roast of all time needs no
Jeff
intro.
Ross,
Yeah.
Jeff Beecher. Now listen, I thought I did that at the beginning, and I did. And I said Beecher's Madhouse. And I said that you were having a one-night-only show.
Oh.
So you've brought it here to Nolens, to Bourbon Street.
Correct.
To the French Quarter, which is hell on earth, basically. I have eaten 700 million oysters, and I drank 250 double rums, and I never got heartburn.
Then why do you call it hell on earth? You're having the best time
I
ever.
saw people going to the bathroom in the street, and I saw nudity. I saw hookers. I saw people shooting heroin. I saw people selling
Sounds like fun
bad
to
weed
me.
and blow. This is a smaller version of Vegas. It's a shrunken strip. There's only one way.
I saw Andy Reid flashing his boobs for bead.
See, you know what I mean? And he got free food too.
Exactly.
He would rather eat than win a Super Bowl, I think.
I think you might be right.
Honestly, he loves it. I said yesterday to someone, I'm friends with Dable, the Giants coach.
Yeah.
He won Coach of the Year in a playoff game when he was a fat slob and he drank wine and smoked cigars. Then his wife made him eat salads and he lost 150 pounds. He's been losing ever since. He's going to get fired.
You got to be fat to win.
Yeah, look, I got a gut. You got to go with the, gut, fat, drinking, slovenly eating. And then when you're old, who cares what chicks think of you? You're not getting them anyway.
Right.
Am I wrong? So tell me about this show you brought back.
Yeah, it's just going to be great. It's Saturday night. It's in the same venue. We took over Republic New Orleans. Jeff's roasting Nola, literally, tonight. Yeah. And tomorrow night we're doing Beechers. We got Cardi B's coming, performing in the middle of it. We got crazy little people, magicians. It's the wildest show on earth.
So there is nudity. Tonight you're roasting New Orleans, and it's sold out. So people, I heard, have already started forming lines and fist fights at the venue. There's people fighting right now in the morning. Yeah, there is.
No fighting.
Yeah, I saw it. There is. I saw people throwing haymakers for tickets.
I only roast with love. It's going to be a love.
You're a liar.
There's a lot of material for this one.
And can you tell me any of the surprise guests?
You don't need one when I'm on the roast.
You don't need anybody on the roast as long as you're doing it.
The show.
I mean,
if I bring you up, whoever I bring up is going to be a surprise.
So where do you live now? In L.A.?
L.A., New York, yeah.
But so you do both. Which one do you like better? Because I lived in Huntington Beach for 12 years and I miss it. I live in Manhattan for 30 years and I've been, at least shoved in front of a subway twice.
Let's make it 3.
You know what I mean? That's become a big sport in New York now. People shoving people in front of trains.
It's pretty wild.
It's awful.
Yeah.
Some lady got set on fire on the subway.
Hey, there's nothing more dangerous than this town. New Orleans is so resilient. They survive like terrorist attacks, a hurricane, and now they got Eagles fans here.
Yeah, and they're ugly.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean to tell you, they are ugly and drunk and slovenly and sloppy. They're swervers. They tip over.
They're falling off poles.
The guy fell off the pole and died.
He died?
He went to Temple. He was 18.
Oh my God,
dead.
Sad.
So the mayor of Philly today said, please, everyone, control yourselves after the Super Bowl game. We don't want to see that again.
Right.
So wonderful. What a thought. Here, don't climb street poles and die. Don't even, have you ever understood how in sports, people, when they win or lose, they set their town on fire and tip everything over, cars, houses?
Why is that?
I don't understand it. I never wanted to hurt anyone when the Steelers won Super Bowls. I just wanted to party and drink and have fun. I don't like ruin things and break things.
No.
That's what you're going to do tonight.
I'm going to break feelings.
Hurt feelings.
Yeah.
That's great. Do your neighbors, do they find you offensive?
No, my neighbors love me.
Everyone loves Jeff. Jeff Ross.
I'm a quiet neighbor.
How did you guys hook up, Jeff?
We met in
Bleacher. I gotta dignify which one you are.
Yeah.
All right.
Early in my career, I met Jeff. He was number one roaster comedian of all time. Even when he 30 years ago, not to age us, but we met a long time ago.
He's been a champ for 30 years.
Yeah, I mean, he's the roast master. So when I was young, I first wanted to get into comedy. I ended up getting into producing the shows and being a host instead. I met Jeff. Jeff took really good care of me, treated me like a brother ever since, and now I'm his biggest fan.
That's fantastic. What a gig. A good gig if you can get it. Yeah. How about the governor made today Jeff Ross Day? Is that key to the city stuff?
Everyone has to shave their head at my show tonight in my honor.
I have an area of concern back here. I've been hiding it.
You should be roasting your barber.
Honestly, I have from the front. You know what sucks is that my set here, I'm facing you, and then everyone that goes by sees my area of concern.
And then they hear you and they think that you're RFK.
Actually, Wolfman Jack.
Wolfman.
I get more Wolfman Jacks. No one thinks I'm that tool. Robert Kennedy. How about his what was his cousin? Did you see her roast his ass?
That was his sister.
Sister, whatever. She's like, right. He's a predator.
I know, that was crazy.
He's a predator. Yeah, he's in charge of all of our medicine now. A predator. The whole family hates him.
You have a good Cajun. You can do a good Cajun accent.
I've had this voice since I was 15. My dad had a golden throat. Good evening. And then I got the whiskey and glass and too many bong hits.
You sound like Louis Armstrong.
I wish I was Louis Armstrong. I wish I was Wolfman Jack. I wish I was Jeff Ross.
Let's not get crazy.
I don't want your hairdo, though. When I started losing hair, it was the worst day of my life. My producer walked by me in my studio at Howard Stern doing the show, and he goes, "You're going bald, man." I swear to God, I needed a shrink. I couldn't sleep for a week.
Get very sensitive, but you got to. I've learned to embrace my inner rock star.
So did that roast that you guys did for Brady, was that the best one ever? Literally the best one of your career? Because there's got so many you've done.
I always say the next one's the best one.
What do you think it was like for him to see his wife have a baby right after they split up, and she had a baby in 3 weeks?
3 weeks?
It took 3 weeks. It was an expedited 9 months. They just shortened it.
Charge on it.
They didn't.
Tom Brady's
with her workout trainer.
He's got thick skin. He can take it.
I don't think so. He probably has 1,000 girlfriends. But if my wife left me and had a baby with the first dude she met, I might jump off a building. I'm not kidding. I don't think I could handle it.
I've known you for 10 minutes. I want to go have some chick.
Jeff Beecher wants to jump up the building right now just doing this interview.
My mom, she was a professional ballet dancer. My aunt played professional tennis. My dad played football at Pitt when they won a national championship. My sister ran track at Stanford. So it's just kind of in my blood to love all sports. And so I've always obviously loved golf, but it's been nice to kind of branch out a little bit more and get into different sports and different topics and not just always do golf.
Only on SportsGrid.
St. John's is primed to make a run. They're fabulous defensively. And I've told people on this network time and time again, when Kadari Richmond plays, he's a difference maker. They're right now the favorites to win the Big East regular season title. By the way, I told everyone that was going to happen. -170. And I told everyone that was going to happen.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
Let's talk about Philly and Kansas City. They're here again 2 out of the last 3 years. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
I'm a big Andy Reid fan, and it's hard to go against what he's been able to accomplish. That being said, there's a lot of storylines in this game. You know, you look at Saquon and what he's been able to do this year.
Crazy.
It's wild. But if he's able to do what he's done throughout the playoffs, they'll be hard to beat.
Only on SportsGrid.
My whiskey clear. Nick Ferguson, you know that song.
Yes, I do know that song. I'm surprised that
I know that song.
Yes.
Like, how cool am I? So let me give you a little debriefing. So I used to work at CNN in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So I used to be good friends with Bobby Cremins. Well, I still am,
Yeah.
but I mean, like back then, I was really good friends with him, and I used to do his basketball camp. I'm a baller, so I played ball my whole life. I went to Indiana. I worked with Bob Knight. Remember the crazy old basketball coach?
Yes.
So I knew Bobby. I knew all the coaches, and I've been doing this for 40 years, so I'm an old man, and I know everybody. But I knew Bobby, so Bobby used to take me to his Georgia Tech basketball camp for the kids because I'm crazy and funny, and the kids love me and the players. And so. Yeah, and then he'd take me to his Georgia Tech luncheons for the, boosters and all the people that contribute, donate money to the school and to the athletic program. And I've been friends with him forever. And so when I went to these events, they would bring, like, the band and the cheerleaders and the bee, the yellow jacket mascot, right? And then they would say, Georgia Tech, a hell of an engineer, hell of an engineer. So he wrote me in. And then once I got it and learned it, so now I do, like, sportscasts all the time. I'm on in New York, I'm on everywhere, but I do, whenever I give a score, like, last night I bet on them and they won in, like, overtime. And I don't just give the score, I go, I'm a Ramblin' Rag, Georgia Tech, a hell of an engineer, and I drink my whiskey clear. Every single time I mention Georgia Tech in the last 40 years, I'm a Ramblin' Rag from Georgia Tech and a hell of an engineer. I do it every time.
Yeah.
It drives people nuts, but it doesn't drive you nuts because you went there.
Yeah, and I know the song.
So now you have to be like educated. Like when you go to Georgia Tech, it's no joke. Like even if you're playing football there, like today, no one goes to class. No one goes to class. They get paid $1 million to play football.
Yeah.
Back when you played, you actually had to go to class.
Yeah.
Am I tripping?
No, you're not.
You had to learn something.
You actually had to learn.
Or they would throw you out.
Yes.
You'd lose your scholarship.
Absolutely.
Nowadays, if you don't go to class, you're rewarded. They probably give you a Beamer or a Bentley.
Yeah, exactly.
And a stack of money. And that's some bullshack. I don't like it. I think it's the worst thing that ever happened to college sports. It ruined it. When I went, I had to get an education. I went on a scholarship, and I had to get grades to live up to that scholarship. And now they just give these morons. So what they're doing is they're producing idiots. Am I wrong? Like, how many idiots now are playing in the NFL compared to when you played in the NFL, when guys actually may have pulled off a 2.5 or a 3.0 or a 3.5 or a 3.8. But if you didn't get that 2.0, you weren't playing football.
It's different because, once again, when you give it all this NIL money, obviously you incentivize it from a financial standpoint.
Right.
And those guys are like, well, why do I really have to go to class?
Right.
You know, getting paid this enormous amount of money. But you're right. The era then is different than what it is.
Now, how about this? They don't even have to go pro. Some of them make more money in college now than they would if they were a 4, 5, 6, 7 round pick. Like, they're going to make no money when you're a 7th rounder. You're going to make some money. Mm-hmm. I know how it works. I'm not stupid. So the NFL pay scale, 1st round, 2nd round, 3rd round, down to the 7th round, is like from the penthouse to the outhouse, right? Like,
well, once again, it is that type of idea. But once again, we go back to the idea of how much money these guys are making. It's like, well, how can you, like, if you have kids, if you're telling your kids to constantly clean their room, but they're making more than you are as a parent, then your kid is like, well, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm not cleaning my room.
It's the same thing with drugs.
Yes.
If you don't, I know you're working with Marshall Falk, my buddy, and he went to San Diego State. The only reason I mention that is because my son goes to San Diego State, and it's great weather, and there's gorgeous chicks in bikinis. I got to tell you, when I drop him off at school, I'm like, what is happening here? I got to get out of here. I'm going to get arrested. And I'm an old man. I'm creepy. Like, I'm 60. People are like, what's that old man doing here? I'm like, I'm looking at girls. Like, it's crazy. So he's cool. But, you know, what you guys are doing for kids, like teaching them, showing them, hey, look, I'm going to show you a guy tweaking and tripping on drugs. You don't want to be a loser like this. It hits home with these kids, as opposed to them listening to their stupid, moronic friends who tell them to smoke weed or to do blow or to do meth or to do H or to accidentally do fentanyl and die.
Yeah.
Am I right?
No, you're absolutely right, and that's the thing. Like, for me, even at Georgia Tech, I'm a visual learner.
Right.
You can tell me something, but I want to go ahead and see it. And
you got to see it.
Once you show kids the pamphlet, you show them the videos, you show them someone going through kind of a drug withdrawal,
right,
then you hope that it impinges on them, and they go, you know what? I don't want that to be me.
Do you remember when you're growing up, when your parents used to say, I'm going to take you down to the police station and show you the jail and show you some of the overnight drunks in there sleeping and see if you want to live here one day. Yeah, remember that when they'd scare you?
I think they call that the Scare Straight program.
Right, right.
And the idea is once you take that philosophy, but you use it towards drugs.
Right.
And usually when you start showing kids these things, it starts making sense to them because for the most part, they thinking drugs, around drug paraphernalia. It's cool. You show them that it's not.
It's not cool. It's Loserville. Now, let me ask you, you're from Miami, and I lived in Miami, and I worked in Miami. I was on the Canes and Panthers and Marlins station for 30 years. My show was on there forever. I've been doing this 40 years. And so my radio show was on in Miami always, and then I lived there a couple times, and I had a place there for 50 years, and I would go down there in Boca's where I stayed with all the rich idiots and losers. You know, the asshats that live in Boca, the Beverly Hills type, right? Yeah. But I was a normal dude living on the Intercoastal, chilling the most, eating food, you know, going to the pool, getting raised. But I'm a Canes fan. How did you leave Miami for Atlanta and Georgia Tech? Did you want to play for the Canes when you were a kid? What happened to you? Who brainwashed you?
Well, it wasn't a thing of being brainwashed. I wanted to go to my University of Miami, but I wanted to escape, you know, and grow up. I wanted to kind of
experience the world.
Yeah, and get away from my parents. I wouldn't have been able to do
So you didn't love your parents is what you're saying to me.
I do. Every kid knows that there's certain times in your adolescence that you don't love your parents. but I wanted to get away. I wanted to see the world. I wanted to see something different. And Georgia Tech was challenging within itself, but I'm not disappointed in my.
But you were more worldly when you tasted New York.
Yeah.
My mom, she was a professional ballet dancer. My aunt played professional tennis. My dad played football at Pitt when they won a national championship. My sister ran track at Stanford. So it's just kind of in my blood to love all sports. And so I've always obviously loved golf, but it's been nice to kind of branch out a little bit more and get into different sports and different topics and not just always do golf.
Only on SportsGrid.
St. John's is primed to make a run. They're fabulous defensively. And I've told people on this network time and time again, when Kadari Richmond plays, he's a difference maker. They're right now the favorites to win the Big East regular season title. By the way, I told everyone that was going to happen. -170. And I told everyone that was going to happen.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
Let's talk about Philly and Kansas City. They're here again 2 out of the last 3 years. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
I'm a big Andy Reid fan, and it's hard to go against what he's been able to accomplish. That being said, there's a lot of storylines in this game. You know, you look at Saquon and what he's been able to do this year.
Crazy.
It's wild. But if he's able to do what he's done throughout the playoffs, they'll be hard to beat.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, Andrew Whitworth here. And, I'm a big boy. I'm 6'4", 240. But I pale in comparison to you're just a head and a half over me and at least 30 pounds heavier than me. What are you kicking in at, weight and height?
I'm probably right at 6'7", maybe 6'8", about 301, maybe 290.
So you got me by 60 pounds. And, I ball 6 days a week. I think I would have a problem with you in the low block.
You probably would.
I'm thinking, I would foul you 6 times hard and get involved, and I'd be done for the night. 6 quick fouls.
That would only get me playing better, though.
You know what I mean? I'd chop your arm. I'd hit you once in the head.
I like it.
Maybe an elbow. Maybe a shot to the stomach. A knee to the groin, and then I'd tacked up, thrown out, and then I'd have the night off.
And I'd be causing problems.
You'd probably smash my face in, and that would even give me another week off. I'd be able to, be out a week with a smashed face.
Well, you could get off the court.
You know what I mean? Just a break.
No, listen.
Because NBA guys take vacations all the time. They're not injured. They're just taking breaks.
Taking breaks.
Oh, my.
Seasons that loves it.
You know what I mean? My calf. And then you're laying at the pool having, drink, pretty drinks like blue or pink. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think he would hurt me. That would be a problem. When he first got here, I thought this was going to be...
You thought I was here to beat you up.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be used as a tool to beat me, to smash me in the back, wrestling when they use the chair.
This is way of life in Louisiana right here. So I'm a part of Pepsi this week. It's throwing the first ever Super Bowl boil, which says on there. This is a paddle. So when you're boiling crawfish or shrimp, all the potatoes and corn in there, you stir it up with this right here. That's what it's for. So I got my paddle.
So back in the day, in the 1800s, they did you ever see Tom Hardy in Taboo?
Oh, yeah.
Where they made him stir the gunpowder, and they had like 24-hour shifts, and they would stir the powder, and that was the guy's job. And then when he passed out, the next guy would grab it and start a 24-hour shift. So yesterday, the guy, and this is the Pepsi walking stick. Do you remember Walking Tall with the cop?
That's it.
And he had the 2x4, and he used to just beat people with it and handle his business.
Yeah.
So the guy came by yesterday with the plate full, 100-pound plate full of crawfish. And he pulled back the foil because he knows that I have a seafood diet. Anything I see, I eat. So when he goes by, I always see what he has, and I want some of it. Shrimp, gumbo, bratwurst. And then he came by with this plate of crawfish. And when he peeled back the layer of foil, I was horny. I was overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed with horniness to eat the entire plate of crawfish.
It's good stuff.
So last night, you want to know what I did? I know you did because you asked me before. You said, what'd you do last night, Ferrall? I ate 500 grilled oysters.
Oh, yes.
With crab meat on it,
I don't know if you're still standing there.
and Parisian.
How many times have you been to the bathroom today?
No, once. It was a clean break, and I did 15. I did 15 double rums with it to wash it down. 15 double rums, and I was just sitting at the bar at Acme Oyster Bar, famous place in the French Quarter, legendary place, one of the best in New Orleans. And I sat at the bar with my producer, and I ate 500 of those, and I ate 200 pop and bang bang shrimp, and I was wrapping it in bread, and I had 15 double rums. I mean, that is how you get involved.
That's how you do New Orleans, right?
Is that how you get involved?
That's how you get involved.
You have to get involved.
In the action.
So let me ask you a question. Your TV career, on Thursday nights now, you're partying on Prime, and you're doing all these shows. You used to smash people and step on their face. What is it like to have to act professional and still have an entertaining good time and be fun with people? Like you're having fun with me. Do you like having fun with people in general, or would you rather smash them and step on their face like you did in the NFL? Because I used to watch you just step on people.
There's moments where I want to be sweet and nice with them, and then there's moments where,
you might have to handle your business with the walking stick.
Every week it's like I think I want to get out there. We'll do the show and it ends, and they'll do the national anthem. I'm like, oh, I could play right now. I could go out. I kind of want to go hit one of them and just see if I could still do it, but I can't do it.
My man, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for the Pepsi debriefing for my crawfish stir. And
Who we pulling for? Who we looking to win this game?
I picked Buffalo over Kansas City in the AFC Championship game, and I was wrong. I'm picking Philly. Philly has the better roster, but Kansas City just knows how to win, especially one-score games. But I think Saquon, like he's been the difference all year, Kansas City has to prove to me they can stop him.
Absolutely.
They can stop him, stop that O-line, and not have Jalen have to throw it 40 times.
Only on SportsGrid.
It was the greatest show ever. It's funny, and you know what I like? You have balls. I mean, the stuff you do on that show, you are half crazy.
I feel like a good sense of humor, and I like to show it off. And this kind of originally started where people were the hot dog eating challenge was something that I always wanted to do, and every 4th of July, and I was like, I could eat a ton of hot dogs.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid. It's finally here. The big game is just days away, and SportsGrid is live from New Orleans all week long, bringing you the latest news, insights, and analysis from the biggest names in the game. And on game day, we've got you covered all day long with expert picks, live odds, and everything you need to make the most out of the biggest game of the year. Don't miss a second, and it's all happening only on SportsGrid.